guys, Adam here today. So what I'm going to walk through is a couple of purchases that we made the other day at Bunnings. We've got ourselves a brad nailer and a framing nailer. Alright guys, let's start with the brad nailer. We'll open him up and see how it looks. So one of the other things, the reason why I like getting the individual sets is that they actually come in a nice steady carry case. So rather than the three-piece set, which actually comes in a bag, which looked pretty good. Don't get me wrong, the bag looked okay, but having it in a nice, strong, sturdy case, it just means that we can store it easier and don't have to worry about it getting knocked or bounced around. So again, it's a nice, strong case, which is good for this type of equipment. So what have we got inside it? So we've got ourselves an oiler, which is important to maintain the product. We've also got some extra nails. So these look like they come with, I'm going to say 38mm nails. We'll be able to size them up against the ones that we bought. So let's actually have a look and see if we can see if they are or if they're 30mm. They are, they're the 38mm, which is perfect. So when you're doing architraves, standard size for architraves, you're looking at, what is it, 16mm, 18mm. You then got a bit of gyprock that might be 10. So that only gives you 26, 28mm. So if you only have 30mm nails going into your wall, then you've only got a tiny hope there that's actually going to go into the timber behind. And then if you've got a little bit of glue between your gyprock and your walls, then it's even less chance. So 38 really is the minimum for when you're doing architraves. What else have we got with us? We've got the actual brad nailer. So I'll bring you in for a bit of a closer look. Okay, so a bit of a closer look at the nail gun. Pretty heavy. It's got a fair bit of weight all sitting in the back end here, which is unsurprising. It looks like a really good quality nail gun actually. Potentially a little bit flimsy on the front here, but I don't think that will cause us any issues. Looks really simple and tidy. Also like it's got the safety feature of having to press in. So the stories of old where people would shoot them and hit people in the head, you actually need to press it in to be able to make it fire, which is good. Looks like loading it's pretty simple. It's got a good spring back that has a good feel to it. Again, this feels like a really sturdy piece of equipment. I'm pleasantly surprised. We'll see how it runs. Alright guys, so we're all connected up. So actually loading it, how that works. Not as confusing as it may look or as scary as it may seem. So you get your pack of, well in this case I'm using the brad gun here. So we've got the 38mm. Slides in pretty simple. Well, first step, well, actually it tells you. Let's go right back to the start. So 1, 2, 3. Pretty straightforward. 1, let's get our air compressor in. 2, we load our staples. 3, we pull this down, and it has a locking mechanism in here. Pretty hard to see. There's a little bit of metal in there that actually holds the staples up and the nails up and pushes it up high into the actual trigger point. So we load it in. So that's step 2. Drag this down. Step 3, and then put that pressure on using that piece of metal. So he's now loaded. Okay guys, so compressor's all wrong. We're good to go. So again, push it in. Pretty simple there. And that's it. That's how you brad nail the using the brad nail, putting architrave onto a wall. So how simple is that? What I'm going to do next is I'm just going to put a couple in on the ends here just so we can see how deep it's actually gone. But again, like what I was talking about before, the 38mm, that meant that it's gone through our architrave, bit of gyprock, and then into the frame itself. So a nice solid finish, which is exactly what we're looking for. So let's put a couple into the end piece here, just so it gives us a bit of a context of how deep it's actually gone. So let's see if we can see that. Perfect. So the finish this gives you, you can see here these tiny holes as we work our way along. This one already had some previous bits in there, so it's got a couple more holes. For that there, you can just run a bit of putty over the top if you want to get a nice clean finish. You'll never notice that. So, review of the brad nailer. That's a very simple, handy tool to have, and for 110 bucks, I think you're getting your money's worth here. If you're doing any type of architraves, redoing door jambs, wanting to do some things around the house, this is a really good tool to have. As I said, not the most expensive on the market. Paslow, Boss Stitch, they're all pricier products. You can also get the Ryobi nail guns that are battery operated, so rather than having to connect to an air compressor. A lot more money though. I think for the framing nailer you're looking at $350 in the brad nailer and the high twos. But that's been pretty good so far. I think we'll move on to our framing nailer now. Okay guys, similar story here with the framing nailer. So I'll do the same thing, pull it apart, we'll have a quick look, and then give you a real life example of what it is that we actually do with this gun. Again, liked it for the sturdy case rather than the bag. Just seems like it's a lot safer way of storing this type of equipment. Bit of weight in it. I'm just reading on the box here, it does say 3.78 kilograms, and yeah, you can feel every part of it. So it's one of those things, it's meant to make your job quicker. You're not meant to be lugging it around all day. It's just while you're putting your frame up. So practical uses for this, what we're looking at doing, again, framing up in the workshop, redoing a bit of extra the chicken coop. We'll go a bit further on that one. But again, this is actually a really good box. You can feel the strength in it. Very similar to my, I'll get it out now, steel case. So you can feel the strength in that. That's going to keep it well protected. This is too. I guess probably the most confusing part for me is how it actually goes back into the box. Because you can see all the different rebates that have been cut out of it for the different areas. One thing I didn't notice didn't pay attention to, and I can see, I'm just having a quick glance at the box corner of my eye there. There are some Allen keys there, and that'll be to be able to get into the back end of it. We're not worrying about that at the moment, but again, similar setup. We've got ourselves instruction booklet. Doubt I'll be looking at that unless something goes wrong with it. The oiler. We've got the actual nail gun here. What have we got here? Little screw of some sort. Not too sure what that's for. I'm sure we'll find out later though. Surprisingly enough, this one doesn't come in with any spare nails, which I'm going to say is a little bit of a failing. I would have thought that just a couple of sets of spare nails just so you can grab it. And again, very similar to the brad nailer, what I would like to see in these type of boxes is a variety. So they had the 38mm, I'd already bought the 38mm nails. I'd like to see some 30mm nails, some 45s, just so there's a couple of things there that if you get it out, if you buy it, you're all excited, and you forget to get the nails, or you didn't ask where they were, or you weren't sure what to do, that you had everything ready to go. So So at least the Brad nailer had 38mm nails and a couple of sets of them, so it would be enough to get you out of trouble. And what I can see here, and unless it's hiding away from me, I can't see any nails anywhere, which, as I said, I'm going to put down as a bit of a poor effort. You'd think that they're the sort of little things that you expect when you're buying things now. But anyway, let's move on from that. What I did buy is I bought my own nails, which was lucky in this instance now. I bought the Pasload ones, bought 1,000 pack. This is for the framing. Obviously they're a lot bigger nail. We've got the 75mm nails for this one. So I'll bring you in a little bit closer and let's have a look. Sorry about that, just got a phone call. So again, similar setup to how deep we go in with this. It's got the gauges, so we can know if we're wanting to go further or shallow. Let's give it a go. Let's see how this one works. So what I'm going to set up for this one, I'm going to set up a similar to what I was doing with the Brad nailer. I'm going to set up as if I'm building a little frame. And we'll see how hard it is to actually put it together. Okay, so without doubt, the most annoying part of this has been setting up the air compressor. So I've ended up getting the attachment on with great difficulty, but have got there now. What we have had to do though, I've had to cut off the end just to be able to make it work. It looks like their attachments aren't all that crash hot. So I've tried it on a few different couplers. None of them seem to be working that well on the actual gun, where if I put it on anything else using the same coupler, it works really easily, but on the gun I actually had to take it off. I've hammered the bugger on there just to make it work for this exercise, which you obviously shouldn't have to do that. So it's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass getting it off. I'm also going to see if I can actually take this coupler off. So how we've got it connected in, take this off here, which I don't know if this whole bottom bracket is going to have to come off to be able to make that work, but we'll see. But yeah, at least now we've got air coming into it. Left the air compressor going, a little bit annoying in the background I know, but just so we can give this a test run. So, how to feed it through. Similar to the Brad gun that we use. So what we use, we've got the 75mm nails, slide into the slot there like that, get your finger under it and push it up as high as you can, drag this down and that engages it in. So again, very, very simple to set these things up. Now what I'm going to do is get a couple of bits of timber here and I'll show you how we'll build a frame. Alright guys, so we're going to build our frame just here. We're a nice easy little rectangle. Just got some off-cut bits. It's not going to be the straightest of squares, but it'll do. So without this, what we would have to do in the past is try and hold it tight and then screw it in. Let's see how this goes. What I forgot, I need some safety glasses. So I'll just put them on. There's one end. Grab our next bit. Put it together. Try this again. There we go. Okay guys, compressor's off so it's not so loud. But that's it. That was as simple as you can ask for. And all for 150 bucks. So that's been able to put 75mm nails through a piece of pine and a piece of internal frame. And you saw how quick that was. So one thing that we do have to look at is the depth of it to make sure that we get ourselves a good finish. So I'll bring you all a bit closer and we'll have a bit of a look at this. So you can see there. So final thoughts again. You could see how easy it was for us to put that frame up. Took us no more than a minute for us to put this together, and it was so easy to use. So for the amount of money that these things cost, the amount of time that they save, I highly recommend, even with the little nuances of the coupler not being great, not coming with the spare sets of nails, even with those little bits and pieces, it is still worth the investment if you're doing any type of work with timber, trying to make frames, whether it be building a frame for out in the garden, you want to do a little nursery or something like that. Whatever it is, if you're doing some type of framing up, then I'd recommend getting this done. Just be mindful of, if it is outdoor work that you're doing, make sure that the nails that you're buying are galvanised so that they're not going to rust and fall apart. Same with the brad nails, make sure that they're galvanised so you're not going to have problems with them. But yeah, all in all, that's a really good buy that we've got here. I'm excited to use it. I'm excited to put it all together because it's so easy to use. If anyone has any questions, any thoughts or concerns, let me know. But otherwise, have a great day all. Bye.